Hello, my fellow deviants. My name is Raymond. Today we're doing our Skywalker Saga review. And joining me today are...
Hey guys, I'm Paige.
Hi, I'm Beth.
I'm Ashes.
Alright, let's get right into it. Who's your guys' favorite character?
My favorite character would definitely be R2-D2.
He's extremely sassy with all his beeps and boops, and he's always in the right place at the right time. And the wrong place at the right time. Whenever he's getting yelled at by, let's say, Obi-Wan Kenobi or 3PO or someone, he always just knows what to do, and he's always just doing it. And he might be very sassy, but he has such determination and apparently lots of skill, even though he goes 5 miles per hour, maybe even less than that, 3 miles.
He hasn't really like
1 mile.
He's
He doesn't
very
really have
slow.
like a lot of speed, but I'm pretty sure you could upgrade that.
Right?
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
definitely,
See,
yeah.
you just put little booster seats on him, and he's perfect character,
Exactly.
whole
Yeah,
character.
just
know?
little jets,
Yeah, he's great.
That
So
could be
he's-
dangerous for him though.
which is fine.
That's dangerous for him. Have you seen what he's?
Yeah, honestly,
There
have
was
you
a
seen Star
9-year-old
Wars?
driving. Okay,
Okay,
he's
okay.
okay. And then when he screams, it's just like it's pure gold. It's
It
gold.
is. It
It's
is.
gold. It brings not only joy and laughter and happiness into your soul, but you're also kind of like just rooting for him. You're like, oh no, it's R2-D2 and he's scared. So he's my favorite.
See, you have like a nice, interesting answer. Mine's just predictable. I'm once an always kid, or once an emo kid, always an emo kid. So Kylo Ren definitely is one of my favorites, and I'm a sucker for bounty hunters, so Boba Fett all the way.
Good choices. I mean, they're up there for me
Yeah.
along with a few others, but my ultimate favorite would have to be Princess or General Leia. She's been my favorite since I was 10 years old and was watching Star Wars for the first time. I mean, just an awesome, amazing princess who is trying to save her people, and she gets captured and doesn't care about herself. I mean, when I have to look at all of the princesses before that, she just was awesome to me.
She's a really great role model.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I can definitely see that. And being a younger generation, growing up with the prequels rather than the sequels, I have to say that my favorite character is definitely Anakin. Just growing up and seeing him fall as a hero, turning into what is Darth Vader and being this ominous figure in the sequels, just makes me like him that much more. He adds a real human aspect to what a hero is. Instead of being like this perfect person, he has flaws, and at the end he does come through back to the light side. So it's definitely great.
Yeah, definitely a good character.
Yeah.
During the prequels, I would have to say Anakin was my least favorite.
Oh man.
That's understandable. That's
favorite.
understandable.
I
Yeah.
didn't think that there was actually enough behind the reason why he turned to the dark side other than Padme dying. So in my opinion, where he may have lost his mother and had that grief and stuff and wanting Padme to live, I just don't feel like there was enough connection there and enough background emotion for him to really be pushed into it. But that also could just be...
You gotta think about the psychological issues with you spend a decade of your life as a slave. You got a lot of stuff messed up there. Seeing stuff happen to your family and all that good stuff. Well, only your mother, and then not being able to do anything about it. But then growing up and getting all this power with the Force, being told you're the chosen one, and all that good stuff, and you still don't have the power to save your wife. And then this guy tells you, "Hey, you got the power to save your wife if you follow me." I mean, it makes sense to me, but
See, this is why I just don't trust characters with a chosen one complex. I just don't.
It always ends badly.
Yeah, always.
You give
The
them
arrogance.
power, it just kind of
and
corrupts.
like
Engulfs
don't really
them.
like you give them power and then you don't really guide them the way they need to be guided and ask to be guided usually. Yeah, that's just not. That's a recipe for disaster.
I think it probably would have went better if Obi-Wan wasn't the one who raised him, because Obi-Wan didn't have any knowledge with the dark side and didn't have any guidance for him to help him deal with those emotions and get through that fear while,
maybe
I
if
mean,
it
yeah.
was Qui-Gon the whole time.
Qui-Gon,
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
I feel like Qui-Gon could have maybe made it better, but
There's a bunch of what ifs in all of the trilogies, really.
Definitely.
But
Yeah.
as-
That's what the extended universe is for, which we're not talking about.
Not
well,
today.
I mean, so the last trilogy just wrapped up, and Disney's saying it's going to be like the final one here. Do you guys have a favorite movie out of all of them?
I'm gonna have to go with the tried and true classic, Episode 4. It's a really great startup to a fantastic series, Yes, I was a child when the prequels came out as well, but I'm still more partial to the sequels myself. So episode 4 is the beginning of this adventure. So that's just what I prefer in my Star Wars movies.
And just like the start of everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I agree with you. That's mine too. A New Hope was just one of my favorites because it was the start of the story for me, but also just the nostalgia of watching it with my dad. My dad and I are big family movie people, and it was just, he wanted us to sit down and watch it before we went to see the prequels, so to me that is my favorite.
Yeah, that's kind of what motivates my favorite as well. Not only, being raised in the time of the prequels, but, going to the movie and having that family experience with Revenge of the Sith. And all the emotions that go with that. Obi-Wan fighting Anakin, all that good stuff, and eventually defeating him. Spoiler alert. But so it's very emotional, and that's why I like that one a lot.
I personally like episode 3. I did not watch Star Wars when I was a kid. I watched it about a month ago. So, here I am. Thank you.
That's fine.
So,
all honest opinions are welcome here.
so I don't have that emotional connection with any of them. So, however, I did feel like in episode 3, it had the most connection between Anakin and Padawan, and it just had the most really all-around character, not only development, but like the characters seemed more whole. They seemed more complete. There was less loopholes, and they seemed more, I guess, supposedly less forced to be their characters. So that one just kind of like flowed for me. It had a lot of good fight scenes, and it had a lot of good politics in it. And I was more drawn into that storyline versus the others.
Understandable. All right. So, you guys have your favorite movies out of all, but, there's 3 trilogies. So if you had to go trilogy by trilogy, which one is your favorite out of each one? Prequel, sequel, and today?
See, with prequels, I'm going to have to go with episode 3. Because, like you said, it felt like the characters were more naturally themselves, and the CGI was a little better developed at the time as well, which was nice. And that's the one that that was the one I remember the best connection with my dad with, because we did get to go see that in theaters. That's probably my favorite of the prequels. Like I said, with the sequels, episode 4, definitely my favorite. With this new trilogy, I'm gonna have to go with episode 7, just because that one is a great one. It's a great beginning to a destined character that doesn't know she's destined. It's good for a character that's trying to be a villain, but you can see that there's actual conflict in him. And a lot of people say it's a copy of episode 4, but I still think it's really good.
What's really funny is those are my exact favorite from the prequel sequel and today, and pretty much everything kind of the same, except for the today's. It was going in to go see The Force Awakens. I was kind of excited, but it had been so long I wasn't sure. And going to go watch it it gave me that feeling of, this is Star Wars. This is what I loved watching as a kid, and just having that feeling back was great.
Yeah. Well, for me personally, as you guys know, the prequels, Revenge of the Sith is my favorite. I already explained that. But for the most recent trilogy, my favorite is actually going to be Rise of the Skywalker right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one.
It just wraps everything up. You got Palpatine coming back, and it may have been a little bit unexpected, but I did really enjoy that kind of twist there with that, and how he's just been manipulating the whole thing the entire time through all 3 trilogies, and just has complete control. I like that, and I like how Rey kind of finds herself, figures out who her parents are and who her grandparents are.
That's a shocker.
Well, her grandfather, we don't know.
I think it's best that we don't need to know that.
Yeah, we don't need to know.
No one expects the Sith Inquisition, really.
And I kind of like how everything was just wrapped up, and the story felt kind of completed there. So it makes a lot of sense there.
The Emperor Palpatine. Thank you. I don't know why his name is escaping. I feel like he was probably the only really true Sith out of the whole series.
You're right.
honestly.
It was a very dark side.
You're
Lived
right.
There, was happy there.
Everyone else kind of like moved to the, the Jedi side or
The light side.
the light side.
Yeah.
But it felt like he was the only one who stayed true to that.
Yeah. If anyone really didn't have a lot of character development, but it felt right for him not to have a lot of character development.
Well, his development was his psychological plan about how he's just been pulling the strings from the very, very beginning.
True.
So, I mean, he didn't need a lot of character development. He just needed a lot of plot development. And I feel like they executed that perfectly. The only thing I felt like was missing with his character is that I feel like there could have been more intellectual battles, I guess.
Oh, yeah, like more debates and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like if they would have had more of the evil debate with the like scientific reasons and like a really good ulterior plot point. I don't know. But
that's good.
That's my only complaint about the Siths and stuff is that it just didn't feel like any of them were truly evil. They were all kind of just also working to take down the one evil while being his
Palpatine
minions.
Definitely a grim figure inside of the whole series as a whole. But throughout the series, obviously a big weapon in there is the lightsabers, as you see on the desk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's favorite.
Yeah. So and throughout, there's been a lot of lightsaber battles. So do you guys have a favorite?
See, my favorite lightsaber battle, there's a tie, and oddly enough, as much as I don't like them, they're both in the prequels. The lightsaber fight between Qui-Gon and Darth Maul, obviously, one of the best. Duel of Fates definitely builds that up really well. Choreographed spectacularly. Also, heartbreaking. Definitely heartbreaking. And then the other one that I really liked was the one with General Grievous. I don't remember who he fought, because the name escapes me now.
Was it the one with Obi-Wan?
Yeah, that's it.
Because that honestly, I mean, I do like the Duel of Fates, but that is probably my favorite just because of all the lightsabers.
All the lightsabers! All at once! Lightsabers! All at once! And also knowing that he's actually a human that used robotic parts to keep himself alive. Yeah. That's an interesting plot.
He identified as an Apache helicopter.
Literally.
I mean, he did have all the lightsabers.
Yeah, for me personally, I mean the prequels are cool. They're choreographed, cinematically they're great and all that good stuff. The Revenge of the Sith, obviously, I keep going back to it, but I mean, that one has a great lightsaber battle at the end. My personal favorite in that trilogy. But I would say that my favorite lightsaber battle throughout the whole series would have to be in Rise of the Skywalker when Rey and Kylo are on
the water?
Yeah, with the water.
Yes,
on the burned out Death Star.
That is probably top 5.
Dude,
that is so good.
The water looked amazing.
It really
looked absolutely phenomenal.
The scene where Rey force jumps back and then Kylo Ren just walks through the wave.
Oh yes, that was a
you
good
see
moment.
his lightsaber and then you see him and his hair's all like drenched in
poetic cinema.
Yeah,
exactly.
So good.
It's definitely great.
I would say Rey is also one of my favorite characters just because of how emotional she is, and how she struggles with it.
She can still she has that balance, and that's the whole thing. She has a balance inside her where she can still use emotion. And non-emotion to defeat her enemy.
I think that's the thing that Anakin was missing. Was that the struggle? You didn't have enough struggle.
I mean,
you had
like
mainly.
Close,
his life was a struggle, but you didn't see it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
His life was a struggle, but he didn't have the freedom to express it with the Jedi Council telling him, hey, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And with Rey, it's just like she could experience that on her own terms and decide who she wanted to be by herself, which is really cool.
And she was also very determined, and I liked when her emotions would get the better of her. Those were my favorite parts.
And I feel
that is why the Jedi as a council had that as a rule, is to not have any emotional connections whatsoever. That's why I liked when I heard Luke saying the Jedi needs to end when I first heard that teaser for The Last Jedi. that really made me excited because that meant that, oh my god, Jedi can actually have emotions again.
They can have relationships and feel
They can
things.
be.
What a shocker. They can be normal.
And definitely Luke Skywalker had an amazing quote there, where he says that the Jedi have to end. And then throughout all of the series, again, there are amazing quotes throughout the whole series. So which one stood out the most to you guys?
Okay.
Mine would have to be, it's one, it goes throughout every single movie.
Mm-hmm.
At least a character says it once.
Which one?
I've got a bad feeling about this.
I thought you were going to say, may the force be with you.
No, not that. I've got a
that was
bad
a good
feeling
one,
about
but-
this. That is my favorite. And I mean, I know there's people that say in The Last Jedi it didn't happen. It did. R2 said it. Oh no, BB-8 said it. My bad.
BB-8 definitely said it.
BB-8 said it.
Yeah, mine personally, it's gonna be all corny and everything, but it really speaks out to me. It's do or do not. There is no try with Yoda.
That's a good one.
No,
it's
that's
just
a good one.
You either do it or you don't. You go through it with your whole heart or you don't do it at all. Obviously, if you go with it half-hearted, you're still not gonna do it because you're gonna fail.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not gonna do something all the way, just don't do it.
I mean, if I could just get like a speech paper of all of Yoda's just lines, I could just
Yeah.
show you right there all the one-liners that are great.
Yeah, even just his
But
zingers
all
are
the
pretty great.
motivational
Like,
There's
honestly.
Yoda. No, but the one, since you said stand out the most, I would have to say, Anakin, you're breaking my heart. I just don't like sand. Those ones definitely stand out the most. Okay.
The classics.
I would not say they're my favorite,
I-
but they might be a favorite in a different way.
Yeah. For meme purposes, my absolute favorite line that always sticks out to me, and I giggle every time he says it, do it.
But he said it in the most recent movie. I'm
he
happy,
did.
I'm happy they brought
Yes.
that quote
He
back.
did. The other one that I always say with my fiance, who's not that big of a Star Wars fan, but she still gets the gist of it. I love you. I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a
Classic.
That's a lot of,
Classic.
A lot of people I see, have even that tattooed. It's so iconic.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
With couples and all
Like
that
I
good
saw
stuff.
actual wedding bands that had that engraved on
That's
them.
awesome, actually. I mean, I think so. But
I mean, it's cool.
yeah, it is pretty cool. So, I mean, it's been, several years. I think 1977 is when the original
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Star Wars came out. And obviously, all the way now, it's almost 2020. Why do you guys think that Star Wars has stood the test of time over all of these years?
Because people can connect with it on more than just one level. They can connect emotionally, they can connect politically, they can connect ethically, and there's just so many different things that people can take from Star Wars and bring it into their own lives and into their own homes. Like there's so many different characters with tons of different personalities that it's more than likely someone's going to be able to connect with them, even if it's just the unemotional little robots. Hi, me. Or the dark, scary Sith with the soft side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's I feel like between that and then how Star Wars politics reminds me a lot of the American government politics, so I feel like it's able to bring in a lot of the older generation too, because they really, that's all they had a lot of the time is to figure out, because a lot of them grew up in a war, a lot of them, so I feel like they can grasp to that, while the younger generation grasps to the hilariousness, the character development, and the psychology behind it.
See, the thing that really sticks out to me with Star Wars and really feels like it stands the test of time is the fact that every single trilogy is a hero's tale. Classic call to action, ignoring the call to action, acting upon that call even though you really don't want to, going through this epic adventure, getting to the low part of the character, and then getting to the epic part, which is either the character continuing to begin the cycle again, or the character ending their cycle. Which, either way, that really is scientifically and emotionally stands the test of time for all of humanity. So it really helps that Star Wars has a lot of that, not just in the trilogies, but in everything that it encompasses.
And not just with it being the hero's tale, it's also when you just look at it, maybe strip away all the politics, everything like that. At the end of the day, it's literally, as we've said, it's the Skywalker Saga. It's the saga of this family that's being told from the grandparents all the way down to the children. Technically both, actually.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, at this point, yes. It's the grandparents all the way down to the grandchildren. And it's a whole family, and that a family always.
If you really think about it, that's kind of what it's doing in real life too.
Yeah, and it's bringing families together.
It came out originally like
with our
a while ago, where my grandparents probably went and saw it, and then now when the prequels came out, when I was young, we saw it together, and now the new trilogy coming out, there's a new generation being brought into it, and it really kind of just connects everybody through time,
because
with different generations.
It'll bring in the older generations, the grandparents and stuff, because they still get to relive it, they still get to be involved, and they get to watch their children fall in love with something that they can actually relate to. And I think that's a big thing with all of our generations, is that no one can relate because it's just so different. But Star Wars brings it together.
Especially with the newest trilogy, where the older generation got to see all of their heroes come back for one last time.
And
whether it was brief or not, it's just
yes, definitely.
It's great.
It was great.
Definitely.
They came back and they got to say goodbye to their princess.
Exactly.
That was
great.
So
yeah.
I feel like it was, Okay, so based off that one, what would you say your favorite scene, like emotional reaction out of Star Wars? Which one really got you?
Okay, that's a lot.
I have mine.
Yeah.
It's obviously spoilers, as we've been saying forever.
Yeah.
But it's actually the most emotional for me would be from The Rise of Skywalker, and give me a moment. Sorry. It would have to be, as I said earlier, Leia is my favorite character, and Leia has been my hero, as well as Carrie Fisher herself. And so her passing was obviously upsetting. And just her passing in the movie, protecting her son, was extremely emotional. And then as Chewie just so broke down, was so destroyed by it. That right there, that to me the most emotional was those scenes right there.
Yeah. I agree. I can agree with that. I think Chewie, even though he wasn't like the main character at the time, he really was able to bring that emotion to the audience with how devastated it affected him.
Yeah, and it kind of brings out, again, with the older generation, Chewie is really the last of the original heroes. He's the one that survived it all. So that his screech and his
dropping to his knee.
Exactly.
Yeah, all the grief, you saw it, you felt it.
So I feel like that could be the grief of that whole generation.
Exactly.
Definitely.
It just hits you.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
See, the most emotional scene for me was actually from the last movie, Last Jedi, where when we're watching Snoke egging Kylo to kill Rey, and then it turns out, oh, by the way, Kylo ended up killing Snoke. That shocked me to my core, because I wasn't ready for that character to take charge of his own destiny just yet. I wasn't ready for that, and I don't think he was either.
He was kind of forced into it.
Exactly, he was forced into it, and that really just hit me in a way that not a lot of other scenes do.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I have actually a couple. Now that I think about it, I was, gonna go the generic route with again, Revenge of the Sith.
I
have the high ground, Anakin.
Exactly.
The Force.
Oh God, that whole scene. But the one part of that stands out is when he's crawling with his one robot arm left, and he screams out, "I hate you!" to his brother he grew up with.
Okay,
him.
that one does hurt a bit.
That is up there.
And then Obi-Wan, like when he catches on fire, he has to like look away, and he doesn't have the you know, the strength to go down there and finish what he did, you know, because that is like his brother. He's raised him pretty much.
Well, he even said it was almost like a son to him. Like
Exactly.
Like more than just a brother. Like he not only was his brother, he became his father figure too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. But you know, from the most recent movie as well, one of the most powerful parts is when you know, I guess Ben Solo turns around and sees Han Solo one last time.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt a lot.
There were a lot
That
of
hurt
emotional
a
parts
lot.
in The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it is wrapping up the whole thing. And you know, speaking of wrapping up the whole thing, we just have one more question here.
Yeah, what's up?
So, you know, what does Star Wars mean to you guys in all?
See, to me, and I think to everyone else here, Star Wars really means family, a place to call home. Star Wars, my dad introduced me to Star Wars and my little sister at the same time, so we were able to grow up into it with the sequels, and then he got excited when we could see the prequels as a family, and then seeing these last 3 movies again as a family, it really, when I hear Star Wars, I don't just hear movies, I hear the comics, I hear the shows, I hear a gathering of my family.
It's a connection. Star Wars to me is the human connection.
Yeah.
Because there is not one person that I know here in America that does not know about Star Wars, that hasn't either been forced to see it or forced to hear about it or stuff like that. And I don't meet a lot of people who have seen any of them dislike them. I mean, everyone usually has a pretty positive outlook, so I would say that Star Wars to me would be human connection.
The force that binds us, if you were.
Binds us. May the force be with you.
The force is real. Yeah, it definitely connects everybody, you know, beyond just, you know, a personal level. You know, everybody can get excited about Star Wars. When everybody can get excited about one thing, it just, you know, everybody has something to relate to. And so, I mean, not only does it have its own, like, premises inside where, like, the rebellion, you know, fighting for what's right, you know, no matter the cost and everything like that, but it really is just about connecting everybody together. As you can see from, like, the main fight from Rise of the Skywalker, where everybody showed up at the end.
Oh yeah.
Everybody
that was a
connected.
good moment. That was a good moment.
Chills.
Yeah.
Literal
Yes.
goosebumps.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, remnant of what the world does when Star Wars comes out. Everybody comes together, everybody watches it, everybody talks about it on social
Everyone's
media.
excited,
Exactly.
happy,
Yeah. Super excited.
happiness,
Oh, yeah.
lots of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, Star Wars is definitely something that's truly powerful.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty, well, you know, that was our review of the Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks for watching.
thank you so much, and stay devious.